Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Behind the Bylines. So in today's lecture we are going to study about development communication, its concepts and approaches. In this video I will explain you the concept, and in the upcoming video we will be looking at approaches to development communication. So in this series what I am trying to prepare, I am preparing notes in the format of answer writing so that you know how you can approach your answers, right? Development communication refers to the planned and systematic use of communication processes, media and strategies to promote social, economic and human development. Now please note this thing, that development communication is a very different kind of communication process rather than the other communication system that you might have studied before. Like development communication में हम पढ़ते हैं कि हम how we are using the communication processes along with the media channels to promote social, economic and human development growth, right? It is concerned with improving people's quality of life by addressing problems such as poverty, illiteracy, poor health, gender inequality and social exclusion. So it is basically concerned with how the people's life are being improved by addressing problems like poverty, illiteracy, poor health, gender inequality and social exclusion, right? So the concept of development communication emerged after the Second World War, particularly during the period of decolonization, when the newly independent nations in Asia, Africa and Latin America faced severe development challenges. So after the Second World War there was a decolonization period, and in that particular period newly independent nations in Asia, Africa and Latin America, they were facing severe development challenges. So to mitigate those development challenges, how we can incorporate the communication, how we can incorporate mass media as a tool to promote economic growth in the particular nations. So that was the basic idea during that time. These countries required rapid transformation in education, health, agriculture and economic conditions. Communication was viewed as an important tool to spread development-related knowledge, modern ideas and scientific practices among the people. One of the earliest and most widely accepted definitions of development communication was given by Nora C. Quebrel. Now please note this, Nora C. Quebrel was the first one who proposed or who coined the term development communication. So I have provided a definition given by Nora C. Quebrel, who defined it as the art and science of human communication applied to the speedy transformation of a country and mass of its people from poverty to a dynamic state of economic growth that makes possible greater social equality and larger fulfillment of human potential. So basically, how we can integrate the art and science of human communication to the speedy transformation of society. How, in what way the transformation should take, in what way, like how we can reduce the poverty and other development challenges to make our country economically rich. Like human communication itself has a human potential which can promote economic growth for a nation. This definition highlights that development communication is both theoretical and practical and focuses on social transformation and human welfare. Everett M. Rogers. Now if you know, Everett M. Rogers was the one who proposed the theory diffusion of innovation. So Everett M. Rogers described development communication as the use of communication to support social development. Like I said previously, that how we can incorporate development communication as a tool to promote social welfare. This definition emphasizes the role of communication as an instrument that facilitates development processes. And what are those processes? Like innovation, adoption, behavior change and social learning. Like for example, if I am saying that the Indian government has taken this particular mission, as we all know, Swachh Bharat mission. So in Swachh Bharat mission, likewise, we are promoting Swachhta in the nation. We are also incorporating or kind of changing the behavioral attitude of people. Like we are creating awareness, and while creating the awareness, the behavioral attitude of people are getting changed. People are inculcating this social learning within themselves, that how we can make our surroundings look hygiene and clean. So in that way, we can say that development communication not only changes or promote economic growth, it also changes the behavioral attitude of people and also generates social learning among the society. Now Jan Servius further expanded the concept by arguing that development communication should be participatory, dialoguing and culturally sensitive rather than imposed from above. Basically जो ऊपर के people है जो plans कर रहे हैं, they are basically preparing the plan, they are basically preparing the initiative, they are basically executing the initiative, and we have to follow it accordingly. So in that way it's a top down approach. There is no discussion, there is no feedback, there is no scope for feedback basically. And Jan Service tried to explain that development communication should be participatory. There should be active involvement of the users or of the participants, right? There should be a dialogic process. It should be culturally sensitive, and it should not be imposed from above. In its early phase, development communication was largely understood as a one-way process. Under the influence of the dominant paradigm of development and modernization theory, communication was seen to transmit information from experts, planners and governments to the masses. Mass media such as radio, television and newspapers were used to educate people about modern practices, technologies and values. People were treated as passive receivers and feedback was minimal. Basically, there was no scope for feedback. People were not supposed to give any feedback, rather they were acting as a passive receiver. They were not active participants of that particular process. Early development campaigns related to family planning, agricultural modernization and literacy in India followed the one-way model. However, experience showed that one-way communication was not sufficient to bring sustainable development. Many early such programs such as the initial family planning campaigns of the 1960s and 1970s in India and some top-down agricultural modernization initiatives under the Green Revolution, these are the examples that I have cited here, faced resistance or limited success because they ignored local culture and lacked community participation and feedback. Like in the Green Revolution during the 1960s, government had taken initiatives to modernize the agricultural practices of India. So while doing that, it lacked basically community approach, it lacked the community discussion, the local culture, so it faced a very resistance of success during that period. So, as a result, the understanding of development communication gradually shifted towards a two-way and participatory process. In this approach, communication is based on dialogue, interaction and mutual understanding between development agencies and the people. Communities are actively involved in identifying problems, planning solutions and implementing development initiatives. In contemporary development communication, the two-way process is considered essential. Participation, feedback and local knowledge are given importance, and people are viewed as active agents of development rather than passive beneficiaries. So before this, people were mainly treated as a passive beneficiary, that whatever the initiatives are taken by the government, people were getting benefits from those particular initiatives. They were not actively engaged or involved in the particular process. So in two-way communication system, what it is being changed, it is being changed in the format of participation. The people are now viewed as active participants rather than passive beneficiaries. Community media, interpersonal communication and self-help groups and grassroots communication initiatives reflect this participatory understanding of development communication. So these are the examples that I have cited here. In India, development communication has played a significant role in national development programs such as Pulse Polio campaigns, National AIDS Control Program, Swachh Bharat Mission, literacy missions and women empowerment initiatives. Thus, development communication has evolved from a one-way top-down approach to a two-way participatory process. So, this was for today's lecture. I hope this topic is clear for you now. Like we have understood the concept of development communication, and in the upcoming video, I will be explaining the approaches to development communication. If you found this video helpful, then do like it, share it with your friends, put down your comments in the comment sections, do subscribe to my channel and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching Behind the Bylines.